Alright, let's talk about adding in an electric violin player. I definitely didn't see this coming. I probably tried to fight it a little bit, and then, JR, he always wants to bring in new musicians all the time. Such a slut. So we let him bring this guy down, and this is an electric violin player. He plays bass. And I've met all JR's friends, right? Like, you'll never meet them all. Like, there's always more. And here's this guy. We didn't really know this guy either. Like, he hasn't known this guy for very long either. And we're just kind of trying him out a few times. He's come around, and I think he's quite amazing. Like, I wasn't expecting this sort of a violin player, you know. When I think violin, I usually think like bluegrass or country western, maybe classical, something Italian, but not always like whatever we're doing. I finally did figure out what we're doing the other day. Some of the bands that JR pointed out as influences, I sort of recognized like where we were going, which kind of brought in why we would even have an electric violin player. I was confused by it, obviously, as was everybody else, but it wasn't an average uh, violin player. His violin was solid body like a guitar, and he had a pedal board, and we were just like noticing that he was not really playing classical like he was. He had good timing. He had good. That's what's cool about classical musicians, but and he had theory. He could walk right into anything, and we were just like, all right, like it wasn't a threat to me. Like I love the guy. I think he's really cool, but I felt like it might bump into the guitar, like at the mid frequency. I'm always playing low or high, but I never play in the middle. So we bring in the guitar player, and he says, "This sounds like we have two guitars, but it has a different attack, completely different attack." And his talent was quite different than ours, being that he was probably classically trained and then went against the grain somehow and became this intense player. He fit in actually, and we were just like, shit. There's no way he doesn't really fit in, so we let him in.